Hello everyone. I'm so happy to meet you at WCN Expo. Today I and my colleagues Ola Yesipova and Albert Slingerev would like to share with you our latest news from the Saiga world. But before we start, I would like give you a chance to watch Saigas in real life, to see how they communicate each other, to hear their natural sounds. This is really beautiful, isn't it? This video was made in Черные земли, a biosphere reserve in Russia. As you already know, Saiga inhabits in grassland and semi-desert of Eurasia, including Central Asian region and Northwest Pre-Caspian Sea region. 3 of 5 Saiga population located in territory of Kazakhstan, 1 population located in Russian Federation, and 1 in Mongolia. 2 of 5 population are transboundary. 1 transboundary population located in territory of Russia and Kazakhstan. This is Ural River population. For today, this is largest and most density Saiga population in the world. Another transboundary population located in territory of Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, where Saiga migrate during the season, and third population is smallest one and most endangered among the all population in the world. Like at past, today Saiga faces with numerous threats, and many of them still remains watching. But also during the last decade, Saiga faced with new threats, and maybe most strong of them and most negatively affected Saiga is linear infrastructure that built in the Saiga range state very actively during the last 10-15 years. First of all, it's negative impact of highways, railways and gas pipelines, but also effect of the climate change to Saiga biology, behavior and movements increased a lot during the last time. To protect Saiga, SAs continues to work with local government, local communities and individual group of peoples that live in Saiga areas in range state and international. This is rangers, this is youth, this is oil and gas and road companies that operate in Saiga area and others in the follow areas. We try to improve and increase capacity of these people. We support rangers from protected area to improve their capacity and knowledge and experience exchange. For instance, we support rangers from Saigachi Reserve in Uzbekistan and rangers from Stepnoy Reserve in Russia. And also we provide environment education for the local community, local people that live in a Saiga village, like it's very close to Saiga habitats, for the school kids who live in this village, and for general community, improve their understanding and their attitude to the Saiga and Saiga cultural and biological value. Also, we carry out our research project to understand about Saiga status, Saiga distribution, and threats that Saiga face with. And of course, we're very actively involved in international process of Saiga conservation. For instance, we support Convention of Migratory Species for coordination and development 5 years medium-term international work program for Saiga conservation. Quite recently, in end of September, the first medium-term working program was adopted by Convention of Migratory Species and Conference of Party, where members of SCA very actively participated. Now we continue to share some good news with you. Over the last few years, thanks to incredible efforts of Saiga range states and international community, Saiga population started to be increased. For instance, over last 2 years, during the very difficult COVID time for the people, Saiga population was increased in 150%. Just think, 150%. It's really great news. And currently Saiga population is about 930,000 individuals, and 90% of global population inhabit in territory of Kazakhstan. A bit later, Albert will talk some more details about Saiga status and what our partner organization, Association for Conservation of Biodiversity in Kazakhstan, carry out for protection and research of Saiga. But now I will happy to pass the words to Oля Yesipova, who will continue sharing our latest highlights and introduce some of our projects we're working on this moment. Ola, please.
Thanks, Elena, and hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our talk today. I'm very happy to continue sharing the latest highlights from the Saiga world, and there are two major aspects we'll focus on in the next few minutes. The first one is environmental education and how it transformed for us in the last few months, and the second one is Resurrection Island project that we're working on at the moment. So to begin with, a great news for us and all of the Saiga communities this year is that we're finally able to host our major celebration, the Saiga Day, in person, as opposed to 2020, when we could only offer online activities in the time of lockdown. Our educational or environmental education system is based on step wildlife clubs that would meet throughout the year on a regular basis to create some kind of events, festivals, interactive lessons. They choose the format. But all of the step wildlife clubs that, by the way, are located in all of the Saiga range states can communicate with each other, and therefore it's very important to have the opportunity to meet in person, which they finally could do, and they were very thrilled about this. So Saiga Day is the biggest celebration we make throughout the year. And in the pictures here and the photos on the slide, you can see some of the examples from this year's Saiga Day. So I'll give you a brief idea of what happened to then explain how usually our celebrations go. So for example, in Russia, we had a step patrol quest game where kids would split into groups and they would need to find a hidden Saiga treasure. To find the treasure, they would need to find the keys to unlock it, and to get the keys, they would need to answer certain riddles and questions themed around the Saiga, their habitats, conservation, and the role of the kids in sustainability and the future of the planet. And then the winning team was able to go to Stepnoy Reserve to see Saigas in real life. And Stepnoy Reserve is the protected area in Russia, one of the very few places where you can still observe the Saigas in life. So at the same time in Uzbekistan, we had also various outdoor performances, interactive lessons about the Saiga, and a bicycle race that would follow the migration paths of the Saigas. Not the actual ones, but the area is exactly the same as the Saiga would inhabit. So that gave participants an idea what it was like to be a Saiga on the migration. Our youngest participants were kindergarten kids, so you can imagine what a diverse groups of students we had during the Saiga Day. Now, moving on to the Resurrection Island, this is the project we are busy with at the moment. And a highlight of this year for us was that the UK government committed to support our multi-year initiative in Resurrection Island. A brief history for our new audience. Resurrection Island is essentially a part of the Aral Sea that is a lake located between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan in Central Asia. Once, it used to be the fourth largest lake in the world that now shrinked and the area turned into a complete desert. It happened because of the extensive use of the lake resources for industrial agriculture. That is currently the poorest and the most ecologically deprived region of Uzbekistan. And on the left side, you can see how the lake changed throughout the years. So fast forward to 2021, like said, it is the poorest and most ecologically deprived region that turned out to be also a perfect place for the Saiga to live in, if ecological conditions are improved and necessary conservation protection measures are in place. Unfortunately, there is a strong interest from the industry to exploit natural resources of this region. And therefore, we need to act fast to ensure that the remaining biodiversity is not affected more. To make this happen, in the following months, we lay the foundations for designating Resurrection Island as a recognized protected area, while at the same time developing sustainable income streams that would enable local residents to benefit as well, while ensuring that industrial development results in no net loss of biodiversity. It's a long-term project, and right now we are at the research stage, collecting, monitoring, and survey data. I cannot emphasize how important it is to do this part of work in conservation, and that's a wonderful opportunity for me to introduce my colleague Albert and let him tell his side of the story, like his perspective on Saiga conservation while telling about his research.
Hello everyone, my name is Albert Saramgareev and I'm a researcher and the project manager in Association for the Conservation of Biodiversity of Kazakhstan. My main species and a big interest is the Saiga antelope. I'm excited to be here and to tell you more about our work in Kazakhstan, but also to meet interesting people and their work. So, I'm based in Nur-Sultan, but I spent mostly of my time in the year collecting of scientific data on the Saiga in the three populations in Kazakhstan. The total area of my work and my team is about 600 square kilometers, which is roughly the size of France. You can imagine how big this area and challenging to get data. The Saiga population estimates 842,000, and the largest Saiga population is situated in the western part of Kazakhstan, and the number of this population is about 545,000 animals. Some animals move into the Russia in summertime, and the smallest population in the Ustyurt Saiga, and the number estimates about 12,000 individuals, which is also transboundary population, and some of the Saigas migrate to Uzbekistan. You have noticed that the number of Saiga varies considerably in Kazakhstan from 500,000 to 12,000. And the main factors that influence for decreasing number we can note is poaching of males because of horns, which are used mainly in Chinese medicine. In addition, other factors are the Saiga disease development of lineage restriction and habitat loss. Understanding the impact of these factors and taking appropriate conservation measures for the species, we need a reliable and systematic data from Saiga. In this regard, we have developed a program for collecting monitoring data at different times of the year and carry out of the remote Saiga observation using satellite telemetry. So, our field season begins with aerial Saiga survey, where we're using small airplanes or helicopters, which started in early April prior to start of the Saiga culling. During this period of time that you can find out the actual number of Saigas that were able to survive after the rut, a long and harsh winter, and after long migration. The aerial survey is carried out within 2-3 weeks. During this period of time, it's necessary to cover almost the entire Saiga range. After completing the survey, we provide the government and other scientific groups with the data on the number of Saiga in Kazakhstan. We have been engaged in this work at ZBK for more than 30 years. And since the beginning, a huge amount of work has been done to improve the methodology for the aerial survey, as well as the calculation of the number. But I would like to mention that with increasing of the Saiga number, we are faced other challenges. For example, the Ural population with a lot of Saiga, it's very difficult to estimate the precise number of animals in the large herds. And also extra hours leads to high cost. One approach to solve this issue, a program has been launched in 2019, it means 2 years ago, to adopt unmanned vehicles for counting Saiga and other steppe and semi-desert ungulates. In this regard, we train an artificial intelligence software which will count animals on the picture to increase the coverage area with be less cost and saver for observers. The next stage of Saiga work is survey of calving sites, which begins in early May and finishes in the end of May. The main goal of this work is to obtain monitoring data of the productivity of females, the sex composition and mortality of calves, accumulating data of calving areas for a population model with a forecast of the population dynamics. We are using a new non-destructive survey method. We call it this transect. In this approach, we can assess the twin rate, the age structure of females, and productivity of the population. However, the main difficulty of conducting such a research is location of the calving sites, where their location changes from year to year. And the next important period of the Saiga is the rutting time, when the Saiga gathering a small harem. This period, it's a good time to accurate data, the ratio of adult males and females. This takes place in early December and continued a month. During this period of time, males almost don't eat or drink. After finishing of the Saiga rut, up to 40% of adult males die in this natural process. It's very important to conduct research during this period. The next activity I wanted to tell you, this is a Saiga telemetry. This is a program we started in 2009 and still ongoing. Installing collars on animals requires an individual approaches to catching it. For this purpose, in 2009, we developed our method, which is called the mobile collar. Usually, Saiga are caught in the fall because the summer is quite hot and the Saiga newborn in May are not strong enough. The Saiga calling with the satellite tags takes place in 2 stages. The first step is to find the suitable group of Saigas, and the second stage is direct capture. For this, we use several cars and a motocross motorcycle. And motorcyclists catch up with the herd of the Saiga, choose one adult and takes him away to the side where the car stopped. The motorcyclist turns the animals towards the net, which lies on the left side from the car, as you can see in the clip. As soon as it approaches, the team raises the net directly in front of the Saiga. A soft net is used for capturing Saiga. This method is the safest for the animals because we don't use any drugs. As soon as the Saiga in the net, the rest of the teams run up to it. First, the animals is blindfolded and the body temperature is measured. If the body temperature is rising above 42 degrees, the Saiga is immediately released, since any further action will lead to the death of the animal. Usually, the body temperature of the Saiga is from 39 to 41. Then the captured animals is examined, the weight and body size are measured, and biomaterials, other blood and fur are taken. After finishing all measurements and samples, we installed the collar and released them. Satellite collars transmitted data in 2 positions every day, with a duration 2.5 years. After the end of the time of the collars released automatically. Since 2009, we have installed 169 satellite collars on the Saiga. I would like to mention that the Saiga telemetry provides valuable data of the migration of the 3 populations. Due to this data, the protected areas network in Kazakhstan was expanded to more than 1.5 million hectares. The data made it possible to establish patrol routes for the state ranger and Saiga threats during the construction of the linear roads were identified and recommendations for mitigation measures were developed. Finally, I would like to express my gratitude to WCN because I have been awarded a scholarship from WCN this year. Thank you to this, and I plan to start a master program at the University of Göttingen, where I will work on my Saiga data. Thank you for your support for this incredible and unique species.